Holistic Wellness. Y'all better come on. Hey, replay people. I love doing that. I want those that's watching this when it's not live to feel like they are a part of as well.
Yes.
We have Rhonda. We have her message. No one has seen it. News that we can use. So that's coming. And Rebecca is racing home to log in. So in the meantime and in between time, you work your thing and I work mine. Oh. All right. So wait, where do we start? Go ahead, Laura. Where are we starting tonight?
All right. So I'm just welcoming everybody back to our Meaty Monday broadcast. And I just want to welcome anybody to put any questions, any comments in. If they have anything that they want to talk to us about or ask questions over the carnivore self-care that we're going to be going over, and holistic wellness, which can mean a slew of different things. So I want to go over that. And let's see. I'm going to try to give some guidance in the stuff that I know. We all have our own wheelhouse that we're great at. But I want to go over some of those things with everybody today. So if you have questions, please ask. Otherwise, you can follow me on Healthy Carnivore. What about you, Robin?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Meaty Mondays with the Fierce Felines. We are so glad that you guys have decided to come back and be with us tonight. We know that there's many things that you could be doing, so we appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're watching on the replay, we appreciate you as well. As Laura was saying, tonight we're talking about self-care and holistic wellness. I just had to go and look it up. I'm like, okay, so what is it? What are we talking about here? What's the holistic piece mean? What's it all about? And so I looked it up, and it says it has to do with physical, mental, and emotional well-being, an approach to the total person. So we know that the carnivore way of eating, or even the proper human diet, if you're ketovore, carnivore, that is a fantastic choice for a whole person well-being insight. So tonight we're going to be talking about self-care. I got a whole bag of stuff over here to share with you guys, so I'm excited. And we all have, it's going to be a fun show, so I'm looking forward to seeing what these other ladies have to share as well. Okay, G, it's on you.
All right, hold on. We have some. Yay! I know. Listen, I didn't want to bring you in because she was still talking, but I'm going to go ahead on from here. Listen, we've talked about this show so many times where we would like let it slip, and I was like, no, wait, the show is coming. So yeah, listen. I got stuff to show you, and y'all know me, I'm a little extra. If you didn't know, hi, everybody. I'm G Brown, the Lifestyle Changer. I am one of your co-hosts for this phenomenal show today, and I am going to demonstrate. Everybody asks about that cholesterol. Do you get it in your eyes? Does it do the... Well, towards the end, I'm going to flip this hat around, baby, and I am going to demonstrate for you. But in the meantime, our last feline, go ahead, Rebecca.
Hi, well, thank you. I'm sorry for the late getting in here. I am just late getting home from work. But I am Rebecca from the Carnivore family, and I am always excited to be here.
All right. So let me see. Hold on. That would be me next. So mindful eating and carnivore wellness is our first topic that we're going to talk about. And like Laura and the other ladies mentioned, go ahead. You just I'm laughing at pursuit right here. I am so extra because it's like I love asking questions, everything that I don't understand or know, and then I'm a visual learner. So as you're talking, I'm trying to visualize what's going on. So I can be a little extra. I am finding with the carnivore lifestyle how we can pinpoint. So even though you're just eating animal, it's real. It really is holistic, because if something is going on, you got an ache, you have any, you can then work to pinpoint that, and that to me is phenomenal. And so it makes you want to start doing other things that are supposed to be better for you. I mean, it could be your cleaning supplies. It could be all, what you wash your clothes in. Okay, but I'm gonna let y'all know something. I really, really think that a lot of the other allergies that could possibly be coming from your soap or whatever, I just really think that it was reacting to the wrong stuff you were putting in your body. And so maybe some of the, now I ain't talking about this stuff to just straight say we harm you type thing. I'm not mentioning that, but there's just some things that I don't think that, oh, wait a minute, let me pull her back. I don't think that it is all that bad. But here's the great part about living your life like this: you can pinpoint, you can isolate, and you can figure it out. Unlike when you were putting everything inside of you on your body down the drain, and it's like when something happens, you really don't know. You don't know what it is. So being mindful and one and in tune and oneness with your own body, to me, is like where it's at. Who's I know Rebecca is actually next, so go ahead,
Yeah.
Robin, take it from here.
Next. Yeah. So this is so interesting what you were saying about other things in your being ingested in your body causing allergies. This is what I have found. And, the fact that my seasonal allergies actually went away when I stopped eating everything. And this is something that I had dealt with my entire life since I was a very small child. I always had allergies every single season. And the fact that I'm not taking an allergy pill every single day of my life is just, it's actually incredible. And it's a testament to what you were just talking about, the other things that you're eating causing you to have allergies. And so that was, that was interesting. I think Rhonda did a segment on mindful eating a few weeks ago. And she told us a lot about mindful eating, but listening to your body, and being more intentional about eating.
That was that key word.
Yeah, so I have found that in this vein of being mindful about what my body is wanting and needing, I went through this fast at the beginning of the year, 5 days. And I noticed that after that fast, I have been hungry and I have been like down, because I've still been fasting. So I did the 5-day full fast, and then I went into the rest of the 21-day fast with my church, which ends tomorrow. And I found that it was such a struggle to do that, the rest of the 21-day fast, because emotionally I was really struggling with that.
Well, let me ask the church. Okay, so what was the guidelines for the 21 day for the church? So
yeah,
we'll
so it's an intermittent fast.
Okay.
From midnight to 12 noon or midnight till 3:00 p.m. It's a water fast, basically intermittent water fast. So it's not like you're not eating anything. You do eat during the day, but I just found myself being more depressed about it and more frustrated about it, because I feel like one thing I did before I went into the fast was I did this, what I'll call a mini prime, where I went up to 3 meals a day and tried to make sure that I was very nourished before going into the fast. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is I'm able to recognize, I'm able to know that, if I wasn't on the 21-day fast, I would have just been eating 3 meals a day because I was feeling like that's what I needed to do. And so listening to my body, I did, kind of break my fast a little early because I was just feeling so frustrated about it. And you don't want to, I mean, it's a spiritual fast. You don't want to be feeling all frustrated and like upset about it. So, just listening to your body. This is this experience that I've had with fasting this time, and I've done many, many fasts. I've done a 10-day fast was the longest fast I've ever done, but this is the most I've ever been able to evaluate what's happening within myself during this time. So I could pinpoint, as you said, okay, this is because I am fasting. It's because I'm still intermittent fasting after that 5-day fast. And probably post the 5-day fast, I would have just gone into a normal 2 MAD or even a 3 MAD, depending on my hunger, because I always eat when I'm hungry. So, it's just interesting. I'm more mindful. I'm more able to recognize what my body is trying to tell me. And I'm glad that the 21-day fast is over. For Laura.
Poor thing. It can be very hard when you do. I did a back-to-back fast with somebody one time. They wanted to do a 3-day fast. So I had done a 5, and I did like 1 day of refeeding, and then it was like right on to that 3-day with them. And that was harder than my 5 or 7-day for sure. I was just like, I was not, my body didn't really want to do it at that time. I really was ravenously hungry by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, which normally I wasn't. And I was like, I am not doing that again if I can possibly help it. So one of the things that I do, and I've had to do this because of my overeating as a child and a young adult, is that every time we get into routines, you come home from work, it's time to make something for supper. I really have had to make it a mindful in my own head. Am I hungry? Am I bored? Am I upset? Am I stressed? Is there something else going on? Um, and a lot of times I'll just sit down with my crocheting and stuff and just kind of do that for a few minutes, drink some water. Am I really needing something to eat, or is it just, one of those factors? And I find most of the time it really is just one of those. It's you're bored, something else has come up, or it's just a routine thing. So a lot of times I can cook supper, whether it's something I'm eating, whether it's something my husband's going to eat that's not carnivore, and it doesn't really bother me anymore. I've gotten pretty good at that. The other thing, and this is something I got from Kelly Hogan, is she said, to know if you are truly hungry, have some of them cold hamburger patties in the refrigerator. And if you're hungry enough to grab a cold hamburger and eat it, then you're hungry. So yep, exactly. So
that's what
that
Jasmine
is,
ended up putting up, and I went on and did that because I was like, wait a minute, is she reading that? I don't see. So there you go. A
yeah.
cold or plain hamburger sounds good. If not, that's very good.
You can do the same thing
and
with
that,
sardines too. Like
yeah,
that's what I do
yeah.
is if I'm thinking I'm hungry, I will just say, okay, can I eat a can of sardines? And if I can eat a can of sardines, I know I'm hungry. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So the other thing too is you don't, at some point you kind of get carnivore, intermittent fasting muscle built up, and you don't need to rely on other people as much. But especially in the beginning, or even 2, 3 years in, sometimes you still are like, "God, I just need to bounce this off somebody." So that's where I think it's a good idea for people to reach out to other people who are doing this lifestyle, whether it be keto, ketovore, any of those, because they do fasting as well. I don't think vegans fast. I don't know. I don't know very many vegans. The
They
last
do.
vegan I had contact, they
Yeah.
do? Okay.
Yeah,
Because the
they'll
last
do
one I
like
had
a
contact
raw
with,
fast, stuff like that, where
mm,
they won't cook any of the food. It'll be all raw. And then some will go, without food. But then I think most people feel that the vegetables and fruit are what's good for you, so there's no reason to fast off of it. But
Gotcha.
but a lot of them, myself included, you get inflammation, you get all these things, so they normally will push for a raw. You cook nothing, you just eat everything raw. Okay, go ahead. I just needed that.
And it's even more bitter. That's disgusting. So another thing that I do, I have practices that I do every day, and with my OCD, it works out because that's just my personality. So, grounding every day, and that has been extremely rough with the ice and the 1.5 feet of snow, but I've done it most every day, not every. I went out and hugged a tree the one day. I was like, that's good enough. I just can't put my feet in the snow. Um, so that's something I do. I'm very intentional of shutting off, like not watching TV the hour before, my telephone, even if I'm playing like this video, I just don't have any of those lights hitting my eyes, an hour before bed. I do the castor oil to the belly button, to the eyes, around the throat, stuff like that. Before bed. And the one that I put in my belly button, because I have all the little glass bottles, it actually has a essential oil in it called Peace from Melaleuca, and so it's kind of a calming. So that's the one I use in my belly button, and I find that that helps me sleep. And I always have to look at them to make sure I don't put that one in my eyeball because that could be catastrophic. I might cry if something like that happens. So,
Most
all
definitely.
right. Yeah.
You
So,
ready for me? I'm highlighting some we got a couple of questions and stuff, and I'm just encouraging people. I'm trying to put your comments and everything up. Y'all know I'm over here like ADHD because I'm real hyped today. I'm telling you, I'm super excited about today's show. And don't forget, I gave out a challenge last week, and we need to talk about it.
okay.
All right, so is it my turn next? We ready? Because
Laura.
I
You
just
already
got
talked about yours.
huh?
So it's Laura.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So holistic self-care practices that I do, like I said, the grounding. I eat lion. That's what works best for me with all the different allergies, intolerances, and things that I have. That just seems to be. It's going to be. I think it's coming up on a year that I've been lying now. I know it's well over 11 months. So, which I love. I don't, when I look at chicken now, I'm like, ugh. I look at it like it's a glass of water. I'm like, it ain't going to do anything for me. It's just not going to sustain me. So, um, the other thing that I do is I pay very good attention. I'm getting better at it. I was really good at reading labels on everything. And, like I said, no offense to this holistic company that I get a lot of the other stuff from, but I just took for granted that, they're supposed to be all natural and have no products in it that are, dangerous, and start having some symptoms. And I was like, what? And then I was listening to that Barbara O'Neill talk about some things. And I was like, it was like an infomercial. Do you have? And I was like, yes. And then do you have? And I was like, damn straight. And then I was like, she said what the cause could be. And I was like, no, this company is a wellness company. I mean, they've got green, leaves all over their box. It has to be well. So I went and grabbed it. And sure enough, damn thing, if that wasn't the first ingredient, I was like, that's it. And, I'll show you real quick. So that is what led me to make these, which are my
Yeah.
shampoo bars.
Oh,
I
shampoo.
So they're not quite.
Yay! Nice.
So
Wait, are they
I mean,
ready?
never. Well, the 28th.
Okay.
The
So
28th, they'll
Sunday.
be ready. Oh, I'm gonna be doing that. So, that's what I have done is I think just trying to pay attention, and like you said, you get so much more in tune with yourself, I think, doing this. Anytime you can get away from the standard American diet where I think it disconnects your brain from the rest of your body. I really do because you just mindfully eat, mindfully drink pop. It's kind of like an action. You just do it and you're not really thinking about the food or drink as this is nourishing my body. This is something that I need. It is all about this tastes good. This is going to, give me this jolt of energy right now. Forget that you're going to crash in 45 minutes and be sitting on the couch. So that's what I would do. As for like emotional eating, people who have like depression, anxiety, it's really easy to get into that emotional eating. And so I don't have, I mean, it's very rare. Once in a while, I will have a day where I'm not really depressed or anxious. I just see what's happening in the world and I kind of get mad. And so I noticed the other day I was kind of watching some stuff and I was like, man, and I was like, I need a hamburger. And I was like, do you really need a hamburger? No. But it was because I was upset. And so I think just trying to sit back and really evaluate the situation you're sitting in to see if that is something that's truly. And if you're depressed, even if you're somebody that doesn't like to exercise, even just getting up and walking around your house inside if it's cold, um, things like that. Anything that can help reaching out to other people. I've had quite a few people email me this last week just with different questions and things and just bouncing stuff off me. And that makes my day. When I can get up in the morning and I see an email, I love that. I'm like, yes, yes. Before I even get up and do my workout, I'm like, I got to see if anybody's emailed me, has any questions. So I think finding people that are willing to do that. And the one thing I've noticed with Carnivore, not so much Carnivore Facebook, because some of those groups are a little militant and I don't care for that. So but I would say most of the people I've ran into on YouTube that are carnivore, they're all compassionate. They're all wanting to help other people. They just are good people. So I always say reach out, if you're going through something. So that's what I have to say. What about you, Robin?
Well, you said a mouthful.
Hey,
I
hey,
can talk.
hey, Robin, before you start, I want people, if you don't know what Laura put up, she made some shampoo bars, some soap, and it's still curing. Go to her channel. It's right there under her name, Laura at Healthy Carnivore. She does like recipes for a lot of holistic type, whether it's tallow, lotion, butters, and so she has a lot of that on her channel. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, as far as practices that I do, I noticed that after I gave up coffee, I was having an energy slump. And my nurse is she over that way?
No, yeah, that's it.
My nurse over there said that you're not eating enough fat. So I incorporated some MCT oil into my diet. I do this fatty latte in the morning. I use collagen and also
Oh,
I've
shoot, I
added
left my collagen.
iodine. Oh, let me show y'all.
Yes, wait a minute, because I wanted to ask you a question while you're doing that. Yeah, bring it out. You talk about the fatty latte, and you also speak on
Oh,
that you
yeah.
add an electrolyte to it.
I do.
So my question to you, you add a whole pack to just a cup of coffee?
I surely do. It's very salty.
Yeah, because even when you read it,
Oh,
it
yeah.
says salty AF.
F.
Salty AF. That's right. That's
You
what
know
it
what
is.
AF stands for?
Hmm.
Salty
That's
as
forever.
Yeah, we'll say forever.
the
Yep.
iodine,
The iodine.
2 drops, two
Yep.
drops of iodine. And also, I didn't bring the electrolytes down, but I do put a full pack of element electrolytes in my fatty latte. It's very salty. It's like a salty soup, I would call it. But I mean, I think a lot of people put their element in a big old thing of water. No, I put my element I usually put it in that coffee. It's usually 12 ounces. So
Wow.
it's like it's a shot of electrolytes. But I noticed that does help with the MCT oil, I think really help with the energy. because, everybody talks about all this energy that we're supposed to have, and I was not having it. So, so I incorporated that MCT oil back in. The collagen, I use it for my hair and my nails, and it really does work. My hair has grown so much. I've been using collagen for years, but my hair it's pretty long. If you ever seen it down, it's long, and it's thick. So my hair was starting to be thin. And I thought, oh, well, I'm getting older, so my hair is going to thin out. But it's kind of like I went back to when I was a kid and how my hair was when I was a kid. It was real thick. And I had a full head of hair. So that collagen really helped with bringing that hair back. I'm not going to pull out the castor oil because I know G is going to do a demonstration, but I have been using the castor oil. Yep. The same castor oil. And one thing that I did was I put this castor oil on my feet at night with socks. I had very crusty feet. Like, I need to go to the salon and they need to bring out the cheese grater and grate the cheese off my feet. But that I put the castor on the very first night that I put it on, the next day, my feet looked like normal feet again. So, I did that. I think I saw a question someone was asking about dry feet. And it definitely doesn't have to do with hydration because I drink a lot of water, but that I still had the dry feet. So that castor oil really helps with that. It helps with sleep. My sleep quality has improved, and also I do put it on my face. But one thing I did notice is that if I use my hands to put it on, my eczema will flare. So that is something that I am mindful of as I use a rubber glove to put it on because it's amazing, but I don't want my eczema to flare, though I've been having some eczema flares lately. So I do some of these kinds of things. There's couple other things I wanted to mention. And actually, Laura mentioned the essential oils. So this is peppermint essential oil. This is Young Living. This is a brand that I use. And this peppermint essential oil will help with constipation. So if you're constipated and you put a drop of pure essential oil, peppermint, in your toilet bowl, you will go to the bathroom. If it's you know about that, Laura. Yep. So this is like something that really works because I had IBS with constipation before Carnivore, and then a couple of times I have tried a couple things, and it has been like, oh my gosh, I'm constipated. So this in the toilet bowl helps with that. Another one is the Thieves. This is an essential oil blend. It has a number of things in it, but it's a antibacterial, antimicrobial. So this is really good for diffusing. It will, keep you from getting sick. And it's a really, really good, clean, essential oil. And then she was mentioning putting the oil in the belly button. There's this oil, it's called Peace and Calming. And so I put this Peace and Calming, one drop in my belly button with the castor oil, and it really does help me sleep and give me some really better quality sleep. So, and then finally, the last thing that I have is I do take vitamin D. So I know a lot of people do not do supplementation, but a few years ago, my doctor diagnosed me with vitamin D deficiency, and she recommended a very high dose of vitamin D3. So this is like 10,000 IU per capsule, I guess you'd call it. And I've been taking this every day for years. It helps with your energy. And it just, I don't know, I really like this quality vitamin D. And somebody else, I think it was Dr. Chafee, was talking about vitamin D deficiency, or maybe it was Dr. Hampton was talking about vitamin D deficiency and how most of us are deficient in vitamin D. and that the recommended allowance of vitamin D for people in our regular dietary guidelines is way too low. So most people should be taking about 5,000 IU of vitamin D is what I heard, but I take 10,000. And this has really helped. And my vitamin D levels are normalized since I've been taking that. So
I have
those
a
are
question real quick, Robin. Does your vitamin D have the K2 in it? Do you
It
know?
doesn't have the K2, and I was listening to that too. I think it was Dr. Hampton actually today. I was listening to him talking about
Yeah.
this, that you should have K2 with it. I have never done K2. I didn't even know about doing K2 until more
Yeah.
recently. But maybe because it's such a high dose is
Yeah.
why I'm getting the good absorption, and my vitamin D levels they're
Mhm.
great. They're normal.
Yeah,
So,
which
but
is
yeah,
good
it's good.
because it's also true that, like, somebody that's pale like me, we are better at absorbing like the sunlight and converting it to D than you guys that have more melanin, which completely blew me. I had no idea when I came upon that research. I was like, really? I
Mhm.
just would not have thought that, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and like my best friend, she her vitamin D was horrible, and she was doing the really high dose vitamin D, and it was bringing up her levels, but she still, like, her immune system was still kind of wimpy. She
Mm.
still was kind of feeling a little tired. And so when I went on that K2D3 years ago, I said, just try it, just see. And even though it was a smaller dose of the vitamin D, she was like night and day difference. She said it really did make a big difference for her. So
I
just
might
something
try
to think
it
about.
because, like I said,
Yeah.
I've not really experienced when I first went on carnivore, I had that energy burst like everybody talks about. After I
Hmm.
gave up coffee and sweeteners, really sweeteners,
Yeah.
that energy thing went away and it has not come back. So, maybe I will try the K2 just to combine it with the D3 that I already take and see
Yeah.
if it helps with my energy levels, because that's something that really is a struggle. And I do want to mention that I've been reading the book Tiny Habits with Limitless Lindy
Lindy. Uh-huh. Yeah.
and that group. And it was talking about, motivation, and how motivation is really not enough to get us to do an action. It talks
Right.
about like motivation and action and prompt, and these three things have to come together in order for you to be able to actually do the thing that you want to do. So it's talking about all the tiny habits that you can form and like how to construct these tiny habit goals. But that it was really resonating with me about the motivation piece, because I have not been able to motivate myself to do the things that I want to do. So, motivation in and of itself is just not enough to get us to do an action. So, I'm trying to work on these tiny habits. So, that's another piece of the self care practice that I'm trying to incorporate now, is to try to get myself to do some things. So I'll tell you the one thing that I have been doing, and I'm pretty proud of myself, because if you saw my cleaning the kitchen video, cleaning the stove video, I was talking about that counter, that one counter that always has everything on it. So as part of the Tiny Habits practice, I decided to clean that counter every night before I go to bed. Make sure that there's nothing on the counter. There's a couple things that stay on the counter, but and I've been doing that. And I'm pretty proud of myself for cleaning the counter. Everything else is a disaster, but the counter is clean before I go to bed.
Laura, do you want to
Yeah,
talk about? Go
I
ahead.
do. Yeah. Um, so on Big Dog, I I I'm not a physician, but I can just tell you that if you were my family member and told me that a dermatologist, just because they're basically frustrated, don't know what to do, want to put you on something that is going to shut down your freaking immune system in the middle of winter, when what do we get? All the viruses that are coming from who knows freaking where. Um, I would not do that. If I were you, I would work on things to get your immune system up. Um, and the issues that you were having probably are from oxalate dumping, which I think is kind of what Robin's describing. I feel like quitting coffee really kind of opened that up, and the sweeteners where those fat cells, you start getting rid of that stuff that was in there. And I think it's oxalate dumping. And unfortunately, there's not a lot to do with that except just trying to do there. You can do like your Epsom salt baths and try to pull those impurities out. That's something you could do. And then as soon as you're done in an Epsom salt bath, rinse off really well. And then I would recommend putting on like a jojoba, olive oil, avocado oil, and then following that up with castor oil, because castor oil is really good at forcing whatever underneath of it in deeper to the skin. So that's what I would do. I would not take anything that shut down my immune system probably ever. So that's just my opinion, but look up look up Dupixent. Look up any of those medications you see on TV where the end, like they have that the trade name up here like Dupixent, but underneath it'll say like Delumab, MAB. Anything that ends in MAB is called a monoclonal antibody. They originally were made for cancer, so it shuts down your immune system. I just I can't even say it enough. I'm so frustrated that somebody would even do that. Um, it's a shame. I probably would never go back to that person, and I know you probably need to see a dermatologist, but if any way possible, I would try to find somebody else, and I would promptly fire them.
I agree
So
with
that's
that,
all I'll say.
actually.
Yeah.
I have eczema, that dyshydrotic eczema. It's absolutely awful, you guys. It's like
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing that would make you want to go to a dermatologist just to try to see if you could get some
Mhm.
relief from it, because it's just so ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I agree. I would not take Dupixent. As a matter of fact,
It's
I
not
just
good.
am not going to the dermatologist. I feel like eventually my body will heal on the proper human diet. So it's going to take time. I think it's going to take time for it to heal, but I believe that it will. But hey, eczema or whatever kind of autoimmune kind of conditions that you have can be a nightmare. So I totally get.
Mhm.
I literally thought about going to a dermatologist this week because my hands have been so they keep flaring up. But I think I'm just gonna wait it out and see if, eating a proper human diet. And then the other thing is, what else are you eating besides meat? Like
Mhm.
me, this week I had some Hellman's real mayonnaise. And I'm like, it's a choice that I made. I put the Hellman's real mayonnaise in my tuna. And so now I got to deal with the consequences of that. So, there may be something in your diet that's causing your flare-ups, but I definitely would not go on Dupixent. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so it's my turn. Look, I just asked them for some more water. I'm out of water, but we're getting ready to do this. Before I get started, nope, because Rebecca was having some difficulty, but there's a segment in here where she is challenging us, and she just texted me what the challenge is. And last week I did a challenge. Some of us, myself included, there are times where I can just be really gun ho for what I want to do. And then there's other times where I need that extra push. And so I put out a challenge for you guys to, measure yourselves, get on that scale, um, get on it and just see. Some people don't weigh themselves like that. Just note that it's a number. One thing that I can say about me, you know how they would say, you never ask a lady their age. Ask me. I'm
Right.
proud. I'm proud of my age. I've never been shy to say how much I weigh. When the number was 260, I said 260. I did not. I've never, ever, ever had that issue when it came to I ate it, and then I can look at you, and I might think you only 260, but you might have been 300. I mean, I don't know. But oh, another thing, wearing your arms out. I got tired of hiding my arms. I ate it. I destroyed the body in regards to the excess weight. And so what I'm getting ready to hide behind garments. It's like, I'm not saying because clothes will let anybody wear them. Listen, I'm not saying go out and put on something that you have no business in. That's not what I'm saying. Material, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you don't have to hide it. You don't have to hide your numbers. You stand on it. It's, see what it is. And that was really the purpose of it. So now let me just say, I sent the ladies a picture. Frederick and I, we went to the gym. I qualified for the seniors building. You had to be 55 and older. I couldn't believe it. I made it. Anyway, here's my downside. I've been drinking flavored electrolytes, and I'm the one that water mines down. I have a 33-ounce jug that I put 1 pack in. And then when I put the pack in, I will add about this much the sweet one. And then I'll do this much of the regular one, and the rest is water. What I'm finding this week for me, slight depression. And I do know that I experienced the anniversary death date of my daughter. For those that don't know, my daughter died in my arms when she was 30 years old. She left behind 2 kids. Well, on the 13th of January was the 12-year anniversary of that taking place. And then the day before that, my mother, it was her birthday. We didn't take my daughter off life support. We waited one day. I said, I can't have my daughter dying on my mama's birthday. That I don't know. Do you celebrate? Do you not? That was too much for me. So we did that. And now we're coming up on the 27th, the anniversary of 2 years of me losing my mom. Baby, I was in love with my mama more than my own kids. So be mad. That's kind of I was really a mother's girl. And so, I struggled this week. I really, really did. And I found myself being busy with the grand legacies. I had a basketball game. I just had all these other different things that I allowed myself to do to get myself moving. So I was active, but not how it was designed to do. So I'll be the first one to tell on myself in regards to that. It is what it is. It is what it is. See that? Okay, so real quick on this diet, on this lifestyle, it's not even a diet. This is how I eat. This is how I shop. This is what I do. And oxalate dumping, a few of you put that down in there because I do believe that over the years, I've taken so many medicines, and I've shared with people, I was on Percocets, not the low dose, for 3 years. And what scared me, they would do tests on me, liver was fine, everything was fine, but my memory, like I could be having this conversation and then I stopped because I couldn't remember the next word I was going to say. It was so bad where if I had to take this number and write it on another piece of paper, that I would look at it. As soon as I flipped the paper, I forgot the number, and I would look back at it, and then I had to say the number like 4 or 5 times, and hurry up and write it. That was crazy, but I went through that, and so it took 2 days for me to withdraw from 3 years of medicine. It wasn't like sweats and me doing. It wasn't anything like that. it was all of the pain just back over into my body. Well, I feel that a lot of that stuff is locked away in fat cells. So the thing that I am dealing with, and I have Nurse Laura. So the thing that I was dealing with is, and I've shared this a lot on my on our page, Hanging with the Browns. I left him hanging. Oh yeah, I did. See, he in there. I volunteered him, and then, but he did his. Matter of fact, he done lost weight. He did everything. He cut out the sweet electrolyte. He cut all that stuff out. Yeah, he did really well. Anyway,
Nice. Good
that's
job,
what
Frederick.
I know. So he was putting me to shame. But I had a private session with Laura, and I flashed her my chest because I did go to a dermatologist. I actually had a biopsy done. My chest broke out, and I broke out in it's like 5 places, one on each breast, one here under the arm, and 2 on my back. And they're like the size of a quarter.
Mhm.
But the one on my breast is probably like,
50-cent piece.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a 50 cent on this left side. And so, due to my dad, when my skin, when I have a mark, the mark is there. It's not like it clears up and go away. I can show you scars from whenever. So that means I have these circles on me. And Redmond's clay.
Okay.
Okay, this is what, and it's a clay, y'all. So it's a powder. You mix with a little water. Now, what Laura told me was to Epsom salt, and I actually added a little baking soda to it, and I put the Redmond's clay in it and submerged down in it. But Laura, I don't know if I'm not doing this right, but I made some and I just put it on me.
And you can.
Okay. And I just wash it
Yeah.
off in the morning. It's on now. And then when I go take my shower tonight, I'll wash it off and then I'll put it on. And what it did, so what happened, I can be sitting here talking and then you can't see it right now, but I'll start scratching, right? And for where it is across my chest and look right up under my arm, I do look like a monkey. I'll be doing this right here. It is. That's
Making me itch.
That's what I'm saying. So I would do that. And so I just found just putting it on, it's nice, it's cool, it's a cooling, and I don't have to take that other medicine. They were giving me anti-itch med. None of that stuff was working. I am not. I would take Benadryl, and I'm like, oh my God, stop it from itching, baby. I would dip a Q-tip in bleach and rub it to stop it from itching. That didn't work either. Now, bleach has always been my friend, but this time it didn't. And so now this is one of the things that I've used. And you can actually do it as a facial mask as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys utilize your ketone strips when you use the restroom. And then another thing was restless leg. That was one of the last things. I have not had a restless leg episode probably in 3 weeks. And normally when it would come, if it happened tonight, then it wouldn't happen for a while. And it used to happen like 2-3 times a day. And so then I was this magnesium, even though there's some magnesium in electrolytes, they have some as well. That wasn't enough for my leg, right? So then we have that along with Robin hooked me on to the collagen. And so I bought the bones at the store today. Got 3 bones for $2.99. So I had that broth going. And I had those big soup bones that I used for there. And I had a few bones in the freezer and it didn't seem like enough. So I threw some hamburger meat in there and I'm letting that do for the next 36 hours. But this is what everybody been wanting to know about is this castor oil, right? So my bottle is way down here now. And I am going to show you guys what I do with my castor oil. First of all, I rub it all, and because I'm turning 60, I do not rub in a downward motion. Okay, I don't care if it's my face, everything goes up. Gravity is already taking it down. I don't need to be pushing it down with it and putting on makeup. So I sit there and go all. Now I won't show that part because, all right, but I'm just showing you. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? That's how that goes. Then I get some, put it in my hand, and it starts under the arm because you don't need as much deodorant. And I'm going to tell you that for me, I can take a shower, go to bed, wake up in the morning. If I ain't put deodorant on, oh, you swear I had a fight with 10 people in the bed. Yeah. Oh, it was. And I would look, I say, oh my God. Yeah, I couldn't. But now, all is well. So I put some in and I rub here on this excess that's right there. So it hits under the arm and go up. And so I rub like this on my arms, right? I always get my elbows. I have some extremely soft elbows because anytime I put stuff on my arm, instead of doing this, I do this. All right. So I got really good elbows. Same thing with the inner thighs. I take some. Yes, you're thinking, oh my God. And then you got to get into bed. Well, I put some pajamas on. Okay. And then I rub them inner thighs where I done already told you when I used to be really, really big. It's
oh, I hated that noise.
Yeah, that little inner thigh. So I rub them jokers too. I do all of that. Then comes to the face. Yeah, my hair is so good. All right, so y'all ready?
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. It's thick, so hopefully you guys can see that. I have an extra towel. I rub it, and the first place I hit is my eye, and I go up and down and up and down, and I try to open my eyes to get the oil in. I go across my forehead. I'll go like this, and of course I do like this. And this is my favorite part right here.
Mine too.
OMG. And then go ahead and open them up. Now, Laura goes to the point where she actually puts the drops in, right?
But yes, right in the old eyeballs.
I do all of that right there. I have not progressed to do it into, y'all, I'm about ready to go to bed right now. Look at this right here.
I have a question, G. How did your eye appointment go?
Okay, so let me tell y'all about this eye appointment. He said that my eyes have now where distant, because I can't see far away. And this, my right eye, if I do this right here, you can forget it. This is the one I see up close in, and this is the one I can see far away in. And what I told you guys that I could not wear the glasses for far away. That got better, but close got worse or something. He said my eyes was kind of doing this right here. So it changed. That's all I can tell you. So yes, y'all, now y'all see what Mr. And get your lips, honey, and then do your chin like this right here. Y'all see how? Oh yeah, and Fredericks did slightly improve. His prescription changed. Mine changed, but then it was a shifty shift, if that makes sense. Yeah, but y'all can see, and then of course I do it. And this right here, I would actually rub somewhere else, but I'm gonna do it on my towel, and I am just gonna shine. Baby, honey, you cannot tell me. All right, sweetie, bye-bye. You cannot tell me that I'm not aging in reverse with all this right here on. And then throughout the night, if I feel, I just do this right here. I transfer it. Yep. Oh, yeah, huh? And so when you want to know, and yes, you can get it in your eyes, and a lot of times, so like when I'm rubbing it, I don't have it all the way closed. And eventually, I put it in my navel, but then I do all of that rubbing and everything. And so, guys, that is the cholesterol oil. Uh, this right here. And like I said, it's only about right there, and I need to get some more. But this is me shining, and that's why he will turn around and say, "Could you hold off on the shining because we'll be slipping and sliding." But
He
this
said
is,
it's like skiing down the slopes.
oh yeah, yeah. There he is. I know. And so, and I put my pajamas on, and so. But here's the thing: it doesn't stay like this. Eventually,
Right.
It
It
soaks
soaks
in.
in.
yeah.
Soaks in.
Oh, that's good. Oh, you know what? Bliss, I've done that as well. Now I ain't gonna take my
Mhm.
head off because my stuff is not done and I'm letting it grow. But a lot of times I'll take it and just rub it across. I have not parted my hair and put it down on the scalp as of yet. But you guys, that is so if you see how I'm shining, just imagine the body is doing it as well. But I promise I'll be rubbing on these things here and rubbing over here and between the thighs. That's where most of my excess skin is, here and between my thighs. Um, so
So castor oil is extremely good for like helping with dry scalp and hair loss. So my bars that I made, my shampoo bars have that. That's part of that recipe that I have with the castor oil. But like people like pulling their hair real tight for ponytails, like I've done that to where I've kind of, broke those off. I've been putting that in there and I was like, yeah, those little baby hairs are starting to come in. So the other thing too, G, you were showing your bentonite clay, which I have mine up there. I didn't bring them down, but that is also one of the ingredients that I used for my tooth powder
oh,
because
okay.
it remineralizes. So yeah.
I'm telling you guys, so I've never been one for okay, what we normally do, whatever your mama did, she did it, you picked up on it unless something has come across. We're not TikTok show you so much, different things. And so now I'm just really my mother was one, if it wasn't this, baby Vaseline.
Mhm.
Or yeah, so she's always like taking care. Okay, so Kathy says she's drinking about 1 to 3
Wow.
teaspoons daily before
Mhm.
bed. I use
Yep.
the castor oil and hold on. Hi,
Yes.
Ellie. I
I
use the
saw
castor
Ellie's
oil and it was a
video.
miracle for my skin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
really
has been wonderful and I don't even feel right if I don't put it on. I'll lay down and just like, oh no, it's not working. I have to go
Yeah.
and put something else on. At this point, we have our news that you can use. So hold on, guys. Let me see. I'm going to present. I'm gonna hide that one. Hold on. Present. Share my screen. And I want this. And I want to share. And I'm gonna make it bigger. And here's our girl
And
Rhonda.
carnivore news that we can use from the community. Rena with 5 Minute Body recently interviewed Dr. Anthony Chafee, where they discussed the 10 worst carnivore mistakes to avoid. Since we are still in the first month of the new year, it may be beneficial to imprint this information in our minds so we can be aware and hopefully avoid these common carnivore mistakes. Carnivore mistake number 1 is not eating enough. Dr. Chafee stated that it's very easy to undereat on the carnivore diet because the hunger signals are much more mild and subtle than when we're eating carbohydrates. Dr. Chafee believes that the taste signal is a better marker for indicating when we've had enough and advises us to relearn our hunger signals and go by taste. So, if we're eating fatty meat and we're hungry, Dr. Chafee stated that it will taste good and we will receive positive feedback. But eventually, once our body gets enough, we will receive less positive feedback and the food will no longer taste good. That's the signal that we've had enough. Carnivore mistake number 2 is not eating enough fat. Many people have been conditioned most of their lives to eat a low-fat diet. When they start carnivore, they may eat more meat and more fat than they used to, but it's still not enough fat. Dr. Chafee says if you are feeling tired and lethargic and don't have the same energy levels that you used to with your workouts, not eating enough fat can be a major reason why. He says our bodies chase nutrients more than they chase calories, and fat is not just a calorie source, it is an essential nutrient. There are essential fatty acids that we must have that we cannot get from anything except animal sources, and they come with a lot of fat soluble vitamins that we do need that are essential. When we're getting those nutrients from the fat and from the high nutrient dense foods, we will stay more satiated with better energy levels for longer. Carnivore mistake number 3 is drinking coffee. Many people drink coffee and continue to drink coffee on carnivore. Dr. Chafee says that coffee is a laxative, so it can create loose stools because when we don't have a ton of fiber blocking the pipes, that laxative effect is a lot more dramatic and noticeable. If we drink coffee and have normal stools, the coffee can mask the amount of fat we are taking in. If we have dry, hard stools, then it means our bodies are absorbing all of the fat we're taking in and none is getting sent out. Carnivore mistake number 4 is consuming artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners can also act as a laxative. It can also hinder weight and fat loss. Dr. Chafee believes if we want to attain optimal health, we should eliminate all artificial sweeteners because they come from plants that contain plant toxins and chemicals to defend themselves. Carnivore mistake number 5 is the perfection mindset. Dr. Chafee says to not give up the good for the perfect. Many people think if they don't do carnivore perfectly, then they can't do it at all. Dr. Chafee says if we slip up, just get back on track. Slipping up once and getting back on board is a lot better than never getting back on board and eating crap every day. Carnivore mistake number 6 is incorporating fruit and honey. These sugars do the same things in the body as sucralose, glucose, and fructose. Dr. Chafee stated fructose has been shown in many studies to cause metabolic syndrome. Maybe there are some things in fruit and honey that make it better than table sugar, but that doesn't mean that the sugar acts any differently in our bodies. It just means that there's other things that mitigate it that are also of benefit, but that doesn't make the sugar good for us. Some people say fruit is part of the plant that wants to be eaten. Dr. Chafee says the plant wants something to eat it, not necessarily us. A lot of the fruits we eat now are cultivated from plants that have been bioengineered from intensive breeding or by genetic modification to be way more sweet or changed in some major fashion. There are not normal plants. These have been modified by humans, and even then, the majority of the fruits are still toxic to humans because they want something to eat a plant, not necessarily us. So, in fact, most fruits and berries will still be very poisonous to us. Dr. Chafee says if it's not meat and it's not carnivore, he wouldn't eat it unless he needed it to survive. Carnivore mistake number 7, consuming dairy. Some people cannot have dairy, especially people with autoimmune issues need to avoid dairy. According to Dr. Chafee, those people should only eat red meat and water and as close to grass-fed and grass-finished as possible, especially while they are healing for at least the first 6 months. Then afterward, they may be able to tolerate more things like dairy. Dairy is pro-inflammatory, especially with the A1 casein protein. The A2 casein protein is pro-inflammatory as well. It's just not as bad as the A1 casein protein, but people can still have problems with it. Many people find that they can actually stall their weight loss and their fat loss if they are eating a lot of dairy, which is a very common thing in the carnivore community. Dr. Chapey says that dairy should be used sparingly and only as a condiment. Carnivore mistake number 8 is thinking that carnivore is too restrictive. Some people may think that they are limited and have no options or choices. Dr. Chapey says to not look at the things you can't eat, but to look at all of the things that you can eat. There's a lot of different animals in the world, and we can eat most of them. And there's a lot of different cuts from the different animals that we eat as well. There's different steaks and roasts and organs, seafood, lamb, beef, chicken, and fish. Carnivore mistake number 9, calorie counting or portion control. Dr. Chafee advises to just listen to our bodies and that nature's natural. It just happens all on its own. If it tastes good, you're hungry. As long as you're just eating meat and you're not on any medications, carbs, or any artificial sweeteners. Dr. Chapey says if you're eating naturally, you can listen to your natural instincts, and this is like every animal in the wild does. Carnivore mistake number 10 is setting unrealistic goals. For example, some have improved and reversed several metabolic diseases, but felt that they were a failure because their weight wasn't coming down. Then they stopped because their focus was on weight loss. Dr. Chapey says that the body must heal first, which can take a long time for some people. He advises to focus on our health first and foremost because this is the healthiest way for us to eat biologically, and we are going to be far better off. When our bodies have healed, then we can ramp up our metabolism and can lose weight healthfully and safely. Dr. Chafee wants us to focus on the right things and to focus on our health and understand that there really isn't any other way that's going to achieve better results faster. I hope everyone got some value from the 10 worst carnivore mistakes and how to avoid them. This concludes carnivore news that we can use. Good night.
Yay.
Oh yeah. So
Well,
that right there just answered a lot of the stuff that we're even here talking about, where we are talking about the eczema, the breakout. I know a part of me that, and I think I shared this, I'm pretty sure last week when I was saying how I've given myself this goal for July and how I want to move forward and how I want to do these different things. And honestly, I think, especially after just seeing that, where it's like, yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. Yep, that's me. And so, part of me just really need to go lion to get everything up out of my system. It is, but not today.
I don't want to. I know I need to too.
Yeah.
We probably all need to do it, but oh my
I
gosh, I
love
don't
it.
want.
I do.
I just want to be
Easiest
a
thing.
lion that eats chickens. Do lions like go run through the thing and grab a chicken and eat
I think
that?
if they were starving, they probably would eat a chicken. Yes.
Yeah, it's some stuff where they know, okay, look here. I need, that's the same way I think that he's even saying in regards, like he wouldn't eat berries and so on and so forth unless, his life was depending
Right.
on it. That's
Yep.
how it is in the animal kingdom. That's what I want, but but so I can give me a little energy, I'll go ahead and go with this. And they end up eating something else. I hope everyone look, Fred, you're talking about no chicken.
Frederick's.
Ah,
I have
Frederick,
to
come
read this
on.
real quick.
We're gonna have chicken tomorrow. Ah.
Uh,
My lion eats wild boar, and my lion eats chickens.
so Rebecca, who was having some difficulties in the portion where, number one, next week we will be exploring carnivore myths and misconceptions. But here's the thing, we got to pull up proof in regards to it. So that's going to be a really good show. And then Rebecca, there was going to be a little challenge. And she said, I would like to challenge everyone to add one new wellness habit to their routine every day. Pull some of that from what you were talking about, Robin. She says this could be drink more water, get better sleep, add a walk or exercise to your routine, eat intentionally, journal, stretch, or anything similar to this. One small intentional change every day to build a new habit. So that's what the challenge is, because nobody put in whether they had weighed themselves and all that
I
other stuff.
did.
So I know you did. You
I
my
did.
friend. I did, and I got on the scale as well.
I have
It's
no
like,
scale.
but I did not. I meant to do it before I got on here. When I first said something, I think it was like 146, then it went to 147, and it dropped to 143, and I don't know what it is today, but that's where I hover. I did say at the beginning of every month, I am going to fast. Yeah, Frederick, he did weigh. I am going to fast. The goal is to do it for 5 days. And my reasoning behind it is just really trying to eat whatever bad cells that I have. I only do the scale. I saw Robin work out. Yeah, and so and Frederick dropped he was like his waist was at a 33, I think he said, and he almost down to 31.
Yeah,
So
I
that
had the same
worked.
experience. I lost like a pound and a half, which I was surprised. I only did 5 days of exercising. I found that exercising 7 days was too much.
Hmm.
So I couldn't find that motivation on those other 2 days, but I lost a pound and a half almost. And I did lose like a few, not a few inches, but like maybe an inch here and there, So that
Right.
was surprised actually.
Yeah, well, and I love what Rebecca just said, that we can turn around and do some little small things. And I hope that, oh, he said 32 ways. I
Wow.
hope that with what it is that we're doing collectively as a group, especially us as a panel, but everyone that is in the comments, that whether you're watching it live or the replay, that you would do um, one extra thing, yeah, whatever it is. So, Laura, what's the one thing that you would commit to for this week to be that one extra?
I'm going to be intentional at doing stretching every single day.
Okay. And Robin?
Well, so I have been doing the journaling that you mentioned last week. I'm going to try to continue to do the journaling this coming week as well.
Okay. For me, I am going to reduce my element, and I also want to stretch. I just feel so much better when I get a good stretch in. And for you, I might have to add that to my list as well. I have this, it's not even a rope, whatever it is, and it has these loops in it for you to either put your hand or your feet. So if you're trying to stretch this way and you want to pull up, you can pull up. Some people use a towel to do it. This is designed. So if I lay on my stomach, I can put my feet in it and it'll go around my ankle, and then I can pull this way to stretch. So it's a really good, it's less than $10 at Walmart. That part I do know. So and then Frederick wants to swim this week. Says
Nice.
the man that don't have dye in his hair. Okay, baby, we're going to swim. We're gonna do. He know doggone well I don't do the water
Just
like
doggy
that.
paddle, doggy paddle. Don't
Yeah,
swim.
I will. I'll do some. Well, it's a heated pool, so we can go ahead.
Well, and
Next
you
week.
might be able to find a pool that is like reverse osmosis where they use like a salt water instead of chlorine. I mean, I don't know in your area, but you could try to research that and see, because then it
Well, I
doesn't
know.
matter. It's
Look,
not
I
gonna.
know on the ship we had their salt pools on there. I don't know what this one.
Yep.
I don't recall the chlorine being like loud or anything in there. So I'll look into it. But yeah, it's a heated pool and it feels really good. So exploring carnivore myths and misconceptions will be our show for next week. We want to thank everybody for hanging with us.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the news that we can use. What I get out of this is that I'm going to try an electrolyte in my electrolyte shot. I'm going to try that. I have the MCT oil as well. And I saw here where Bliss says that she uses this also in her hair. I know that we saw that as well. Wait, we got a new comment, and let me see what that is before. Bliss is saying good night, all. Good night, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week.